Hamas has now come out with its own video where it seeks to basically float a particular narrative of how it's actually managing to defend itself amid an Israeli counterstrike. It's trying to put its own air defense skills out on display. Not, of course, comparable to the Iron Dome that Israel boasts of, but here Hamas has put out a video where it claims that it has defense mechanisms to ensure that its own areas are protected from an Israeli counter onslaught. So that's the visual that Hamas has now really put forward. Let me in fact go back once again to Mr. Pacchiani for more on this. Mr. Pacchiani, while Israel might talk about one of its objectives here being to completely immobilize Hamas and deprive it of any military capability it has, what's your own assessment of the defense mechanism that Hamas has managed to now put on display? It's managed to show a certain onslaught capability, which is why it was able to basically take more than 130 Israelis hostage. But tell us about the defense capabilities of Hamas against an Israeli onslaught.
Look, the technology of Hamas is still pretty primitive, okay? They started off, when they took over the Gaza Strip in 2007, they started off with really primitive rockets. Over the years, they've improved thanks mainly to Iranian help to technology that was imported from Iran. It's still nothing compared to what Israel is capable of. The reason why they managed to kill and abduct so many Israelis is because of the surprise factor, you know, because they broke in the middle of the night into this music festival happening in the desert where people had nowhere to run. They broke into houses of civilians, but this time, okay, well, they also broke into army bases, to be honest. So they reused the surprise factors. But we're not really concerned about their technology. Actually, their most primitive technology is sometimes the one that makes the most damage because their smaller missiles are the one that cannot be caught by the Iron Dome. I'm seeing your videos. They release stuff like this regularly. I think it's most domestic propaganda that they're using, that they're doing to show their civilians that they've developed something. But yeah, it's nothing concerning.
Okay, Mr. Pacchiani, stay with us. You're speaking to us from Jerusalem. Let me just go across to my colleague Swati as well, who'll take us through some more details about some of the videos that Hamas has been putting out to propagate its own narrative about how this war is unfolding. Yes, Swati.
Accessed by us and is here on the big screen, put out by Hamas to show its air defense capability. This is the video of the air defense system of Hamas, which is being used, in fact, and has been able to penetrate the impenetrable dome of Israel, which is considered to be one of the best air defense systems in the entire world. The message, of course, is very clear, Siddhartha, that they're trying to show their might through this particular video, and this is exactly what Israel wants to target at this point of time. That's what their prime minister has said. That's what their forces are saying, that they want to finish Hamas. They want to put an end to the military capabilities of Hamas. So this particular video is in fact a propaganda video released by Hamas to show their air defense capability that currently, of course, was used by them in their surprise attack or assault against Israel, claiming innocent lives. Hundreds of people have lost their lives.
Okay, Swati, stay with us because we have some more visuals of the aftermath of the Hamas attack, visuals coming from the airport in Tel Aviv, and this shows the impact of a rocket and the impact that it had on an area near the Ben Gurion airport. And this is something that's been captured on camera. This is the impact of an attack near the airport, and this is very close to the Ben Gurion airport area where Hamas actually managed to penetrate that area and fire a rocket towards that part of Tel Aviv. Let me go back once again to Swati for more on this. Yes, Swati, take us through that video as well.
Well, I'm trying to get that video. Right now, what I have here on the plasma is the air defense capability that I was talking about, Siddharth. Very, very important visuals that showcases how these individuals are firing up these machines, loading up these machines, and which currently, like I said, are being used against Israel. The big question is, where are they getting these machines? Who is funding them? Where are they getting all the money from to create such a strong air defense defense capability, such a strong air defense system that was in fact able to penetrate the impenetrable world's best air defense system that Israel has.
Okay, thanks Swati for that. Let me go back once again to Mr. Pacchiani joining us from Jerusalem. What's foremost on many people's mind right now, Mr. Pacchiani, is how long this is going to continue for. When one of course talks about wanting to end Hamas's military capabilities, are we seeing a very long war of attrition, or is this going to be a limited conflict where Israel emerges victorious and achieves its objectives?
So it's probably the latter, what you said. Israel is probably going to go in with all its military power, with all its firepower. It's not going to be a war of attrition. Hamas also said that we're prepared for every scenario. So I think it's going to escalate very quickly. So again, it's going to last days, probably weeks, but we're ready for all sorts of developments. You know, the other fronts may fire up the West Bank and Lebanon. So it can really go in any direction at this point. But I predict that it's going to be short and intense.
Just a perspective on the domestic politics at play here as well, Mr. Pacchiani, because Hamas, of course, has been in power in the Gaza Strip, but then you have Mohammed Abbas of the Fatah, which in the past has had dealings with Israel. Israel has found it comfortable to negotiate with the Fatah. But how do you see this conflict now escalating as far as the Fatah is concerned? Because Mahmoud Abbas, of course, has spoken in favor of what Hamas has done.
Look, I'm one of the few people in Israel who think that Mahmoud Abbas is a blessing in disguise, because to be honest, he's been doing much of the security work for Israel over the past years, and countering the Hamas presence in the West Bank. He has not come out in defense of Israeli victims and civilians. Again, that's his internal, rhetoric and propaganda, but he's always been opposed to Hamas. So I think as long as it can keep control on the ground over the West Bank and not let the Hamas and Islamic Jihad cells in the West Bank, I think we can only thank him for it.
All right, Mr. Pacchiani, thank you so much.
Issues.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. No, just saying we have had issues with him diplomatically. Obviously, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a very complex one. But I think Mahmoud Abbas is our best option to rule over the Palestinians for the time being.
Okay, that was a very comprehensive insight. It was good talking to you, Mr. Pacchiani. We urge you to stay